Today is a WAFF 48 First Alert Weather Day. Sponsored by Mr. Electric, your area expert for home Generac generators.
Welcome in, y'all. Thanks for joining us on our noon newscast here on your streaming devices. It is a 48 First Alert Weather Day because of the extreme heat headed our way. And Jeff, it is already toasty out there.
Stifling outside, right? And we know it's going to be hot and humid in Alabama and Tennessee in the summertime, but this is like next level. And that's why we issued the 48 First Alert Weather Day, just because it's going to be one of those days where it's going to impact your day. It's not a typical hot and humid day. It's a day we have to take maybe extra precautions. In East Limestone, here's why we got so much in the way of hot temperatures is we have a lot of sunshine for most of the area out there. Temperature 91 degrees in East Limestone. And I'm going to switch gears. I'm going to talk temperatures, but I also want to give you a brief update here on the drought monitor. It was updated this morning, and it's very important because while we weren't having heat, we had rain. And we had so much rainfall that we took huge strides in the positive when it comes to the drought monitor. Last week we had an extreme that was right through here. That's all been lowered down to severe. And the areas that were severe are now moderate. And the areas that were moderate are now just abnormally dry. What does that mean for you at home? It means that we made progress, which is good. We had solid rain for really the entire Tennessee Valley for about a week. And we've been able to see the drought monitor lower all that threshold, which is good. Now, we don't want to stop the faucet completely. We could still use a little bit more rainfall. And speaking of rainfall, we do have a few little showers starting to pop right now. Not a lot, but you see one little shower just to the south and east of Fort Payne near Center. And then also another little shower. This is just pretty much in the Dutton area right now. I'm looking hard. I mean, there's not a lot of rain. Obviously, the headline today is the heat and the humidity, why we have a 48 First Alert Weather Day. But there is a slight chance for a few little storms to develop this afternoon. Now, heat advisory, we know that's in place, right? Everybody in the heat advisory feel like temperatures, they've already reached 100 degrees. We did that at like 10 o'clock this morning. Now we've taken the heat and we've made it feel like 105 out there this afternoon and may even go like 108, 109 by the time this is all said and done, because the air temperature itself is around 90 degrees. Now, that's not unheard of for our area, but when you take these dew point temperatures and when you hit 70, that's oppressive and gross, right? But when you go mid to upper 70s, that is the definition of icky sticky. And when you take that dew point temperature and you factor it into a 90-degree temperature, this is what you get. It feels like 105 in Pulaski, feels like 101 in Athens, feels like 100 in Winchester, and even in Aville, feels like 102, 104 in Huntsville right now. So obviously this is only going to go up as we go into the afternoon. Feel like temperatures will continue to increase before dropping a bit in the evening. But when I say drop, I use that term very loosely because it will still feel like 102 at 7 p.m. So no patio relief tonight at all. So hour by hour forecast, this particular forecast model run doesn't really show the chance of an isolated storm this afternoon, but there could be just a few of them. I think more areas will stay dry than get wet, and it's really all about the heat and the humidity. There's your temperatures by 5 p.m., not factoring in the humidity. Going to tonight, not much relief at night too. Right around 80 degrees for your overnight lows. Some 70s may mix in, but it's really muggy overnight. We have a chance for some showers and storms tomorrow. I want to talk about this. This is very important because in the morning hours, you see this model showing a few showers and storms. Nothing severe, but just enough little bit of rainfall that could play a big part in where our high temperature ends up tomorrow. But nonetheless, one little wave of rain in the morning, then there'll be a break in the action early afternoon, and then we fire up a few more storms as we go into the afternoon hours. It's the afternoon hours after 3 p.m. that the showers and thunderstorms could produce some heavy rainfall and some gusty winds. They'll rip across the area by about 6, 7 p.m. and by evening, most of the activity is done. That would be one way to beat the heat for Friday, is to get a storm. Cools you off with a little bit of rainfall. If you miss the ones in the morning, you have a chance for round 2 in the afternoon. Once the rainfall moves on out, we focus on the weekend. Still a few storms on Saturday after a few storms produce some rain that's heavy at times with some wind on Friday. The storms on Saturday will be mainly just rainmakers. And then on Sunday, just a slight chance of a storm. Notice your temperatures drop back in the low 90s. And what's nice about Saturday and Sunday, just a smidge less humidity. It will feel just a little bit more bearable to you outside. Going to next week on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, whatever drop in temperature on the weekend, it returns quickly back to the mid-90s as the trash pandas come into town on Tuesday.
Jeff, thank you. All new at noon, 2 American men who were wrongfully detained in Russia are heading home. Evan Gershkovich and Paul Whelan are both American citizens who had been found guilty of spying. Gershkovich, a Wall Street Journal reporter, was arrested last year. Whelan has been in prison there for more than 5 years. The two are being traded for 2 Russian prisoners. Another American is also being released, and the prisoner swap is part of a larger deal between 6 nations and involves 24 people total. The Russellville Police Department is still asking for your help to try and find a missing elderly man. 81-year-old Jack Harrison was last seen Tuesday in the area of Angle Plaza. Aaliyah believes he may be living with a condition that impairs his judgment. He may be driving a 2003 dark green Ford F-150 with a license plate that reads 33A1561. If you see him, call police. A Falkville woman has been arrested accused of having meth in her car while driving on the highway. The Morgan County Sheriff's Office says this woman here, Sherry Painter, was pulled over on Highway 31 Tuesday for a moving violation. Authorities say they found drugs in her car, and she was eventually charged with trafficking meth and other charges. A Hartselle man, meanwhile, is under arrest, accused of stealing from the same business for several months. William Ratliff is charged with stealing more than $600 worth of items from a local store and trying to steal hundreds of dollars worth of other items. He was arrested yesterday and taken to jail on retail theft charges. In Gadsden, authorities are cracking down on illegal gambling. They spent hours Tuesday raiding locations. It was called Operation Jackpot, and a Gadsden police officer tells us the message here is to send a message to everyone who operates these illegal gambling rings.
Go ahead and pack up, take your stuff somewhere else because it's not welcome here. And if you intend on staying in our town, we will be coming and paying you a visit.
Authorities seized 88 machines and $20,000 in cash. And Eastern Alabama County is making sure it has the resources at its jail to help people with different health issues. A project is currently underway to completely rebuild the medical wing of the Calhoun County Jail. Sheriff Matthew Wade says the new upgrades will allow law enforcement to do what's right.
You know, we want to take care of people because it's the right thing to do. And even people who say inmates should get bread and water, they don't say that when their loved one comes to jail. And human life should be valued, and we want to make sure we do our best to take care of people the best that we can because we're the good guys.
The groundbreaking of this new wing is happening next week. 2 people in Blount County have been arrested, charged with capital murder of a child. Mason and Brooklyn Grimes are facing those charges, though it's not clear at this time what led up to them being charged. The 2 are also charged with felony murder and aggravated child abuse. A bill that has been filed would require people in Alabama to have a permit to carry certain guns. If passed, the House bill would require people to have a permit to carry assault weapons. Right now, anyone 19 or older can carry a gun without a permit here in the state. The measure would also require someone to buy a permit for a semi-automatic rifle. A historic moment happening at Redstone Arsenal just a few hours ago. The garrison's first female commander has now taken over. The change of command ceremony was held at 10 this morning. Colonel Erin Ike is now overseeing more than 65 different organizations. She's been in the military since she joined the Minnesota National Guard 26 years ago. Huntsville fire officials, meanwhile, are hosting a ribbon-cutting ceremony later this afternoon to celebrate the grand opening of a new fire station on the west side of the city. Fire Station 20 is located on Burgreen Road, right near Highway 72. Officials say it will allow them to respond more quickly to emergencies on the west side of town. That ceremony starts at 2 p.m. Limestone County students are returning to school tomorrow morning. School started today for Huntsville City, Madison City, and Madison County kids. Students in several Shoals districts will be going back to school this coming Monday. Kids and teens throughout Marshall, DeKalb, and Franklin counties are returning Wednesday. You can find a full list of all those start dates on our website, WAFF.com. The Browns Ferry Nuclear Power Plant is 50 years old today. It helps generate power to more than 2 million homes across North Alabama. Browns Ferry is the largest power plant for the Tennessee Valley Authority. Well, thanks so much for joining us for our condensed noon newscast. We will be back here streaming 48 News at 4 while Olympic coverage continues on NBC. You can find us on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, and on YouTube. Our regular newscast return tonight at 5.